3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everyone, this is Dave A. Gardner, and you're listening to the Heart of Juliet Jones fan fiction podcast. This is part 30 of Chasing a Dream. Take it away, Eve.
Thanks, Dave. This is Eve Jones, your co-hostess with the mostest. Welcome back to the Heart of Juliet Jones fan fiction podcast. These stories are based on the vintage daily comic strip called The Heart of Juliet Jones, with characters and stories originally written by Elliot Kaplan and illustrated by Stan Drake in 1961. The fan fiction story you are hearing today is written by your favorite romance novelist and mine, Mr. Dave A. Gardner. Welcome back to a story that has the potential to brighten your day with a mix of humor, drama, and a whole lot of heart.
Great job, Eve. Always great to have you as our co-host. Now, why don't you tell us what happened in our last episode?
Absolutely, Dave. Let's get down to it. We'll start with the elephant in the room, or what I like to call the unhealthy, chain-smoking old slob in the room, Pike Setter. Now, he had already proved how creepy he was in past episodes, but last week was the ultimate. He starts going on about how we could practice a scene in this fake play by that guy Hamlet. I mean, talk about a turnoff. Yuck. Then the old chain smoker puts his arms around me, and I'm like, no, that's not how we do this. To tell you the truth, I was a little scared, and more than a little relieved when Glenn Sabine finally showed up. I could tell he wasn't pleased with what he saw. I finally gave him my tuition for acting lessons, with the consent that he would not allow the creepy idiot assistant to participate in any of the acting classes. I mean, please. Seriously, you guys gotta rally behind me and support me on this, because this guy, he's gotta go. Right? Yeah, he does, but sadly, it's not mine to say. If I want my acting classes and the ticket to the Miss Teen USA contest, and you bet I do, I gotta do what it takes. But it's up to Glenn Sabine. Anyway, let's listen in to part 30 and find out what happens next.
Up to this point, Glenn Sabine had been playing nice. A superficial smile here, a doltish chuckle there, observing his religious devotion to the 3 C's of cool, calm, and collected. But that ship had sailed the moment the door clicked shut on Miss Jones departing the hotel room from her acting lessons. The smoldering inferno of rage inside Sabine was threatening to unleash like a volcanic eruption of who said what and how. What Pike had done to Eve was unacceptable. It could have ruined everything. As soon as the door closed with barely a whisper of a click, Sabine whipped around to face Pike. "One more stupid stunt like that and you're washed up," he cried, firing his words with the power of a sawed-off shotgun. Whatever strength those words had to bend Pike to his will, however, was as effective as a spitball through a straw. Pike was counting the cash, his eyes down, his day-old cigarette dangling out of the corner of his mouth. "You want to know the only real difference between you and me, Mr. Sabine?" he muttered, counting each single dollar bill one by one. It was a rhetorical question, to him anyway. Finally, his eyes turned to Sabine with ice-cold nonchalance, a smirk creasing his ugly mug. "I face the fact that I'm a phony," Pike said. "You fight it." Sabine had crossed the room in 2 steps, tops. Snatching the bills out of Pike's hand, he returned fire with words that could stop a bus on a dime. "For the small sum of 2 cents, I'd kick you out of this setup." "Never," Pike replied with casual disregard for Sabine's impertinence. "You need me," he said, "and I know where the body's buried. What a combo." Meanwhile, the office of the mayor of Devon was a bus stuck in a holding pattern, and the Heart of Juliet Jones was the grand central station of anxiety. She loved her sister more than anyone in the world, apart from Pops, that is, and would do anything to make sure that Eve wasn't headed in a one-way street to Heartbreak Central. So what do you do when practically everything your sister tells you about her dream come true sounds more like the clever scam from a clever con artist bent on taking advantage of not-so-clever teenage girls? $200 worth of pure horse manure was exactly what Julie would gamble that he was selling. Like a fish snapping its gums over a dangling worm called acting lessons, Eve had taken the bait and was all in. Why don't you share your thoughts with us, Julie?
Sure, Dave. Well, you see, for me, the restless nights of tossing and turning and dwelling on this quote-unquote contest Eve is wrapped up in are starting to get to me. I mean, come on. I haven't had a date in weeks, and this podcast is called The Heart of Juliet Jones. That's my heart. In the past week, I've turned down at least 2 potential suitors for a Friday night triple D. Dinner, drinks, and a drive-in. Now all I think about is Eve.
So when her cop friend Eddie from Precinct 1, as if there were any other precincts in Devon, rapped on her office door, she was more than a little relieved. He was dressed in a full officer's uniform, and the glint of light from his polished silver badge on his chest caught her eye. She decided to ignore that little heart palpitation and quick breath that caught in her throat when he smiled at her from across the room. Although he removed his hat as a sign of respect, he kept his dark round shades on, maybe to hide that attraction that was completely and utterly enraptured each time they met. This was business, and Eddie was a gentleman, for which Julie was grateful. Right now, there was something more pertinent on her mind than imagining a triple D with Eddie. Julie got right to the point.
Listen, Eddie, I know it was a big deal doing this, so I'm grateful for your help. Were you able to dig up something on Glenn Sabine? Because I've been kind of going a little bonkers here, worrying myself sick over it.
She said desperately. There was a piece of paper in Eddie's hand that he promptly brought over to her. "Couple of things, Julie," he said, extending the paper to her. "Here, read this." Just as she was about to take it from him, he yanked it back and watched her. There was an awkward moment of silence between them. Was he kidding, Julie wondered? Did he want a physical thanks? Then he grinned facetiously and handed it to her. This time she snatched it from him like a chimp grabbing a banana and turned her back on him. So that he knew she had no hard feelings for him, she turned her head back and winked before opening the paper, like it was the most important news of the century. Eddie stood watching over her shoulder as she read the information on Sabine. This was exactly what she had hoped for. Finally, this rat would bother her sister no more.
Thanks again for joining us, dear listeners. This is Juliet Jones, your other co-host. Yes, you like how I did that, Eve? So yeah, hey everyone, if you liked this podcast, why not go ahead and subscribe for all the latest episodes of me, my sister, Pops Sometimes, and your favorite romance novelist, Dave A. Gardner. Be sure to check out his website to find a romance novel suited just for you. That website address is authordaveagardner.com. That's authordaveagardner.com. You've listened to the Heart of Juliet Jones fan fiction podcast. And hey, I know you've had a good time, am I right? You're the best. Until next time, dear listeners, like Juliet, yep, that's me all right, may love always bloom in your heart. Like a rose. Love you all. Bye-bye.